Hey guys, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. It's Simon the Watch Guy, and today I'm going to bring you the Bulova Curve. This is my latest addition to the collection. This is the model 98A162, and a really quick bit of history about Bulova. Essentially they were established in 1875, I believe. I think when I read the backstory on Bulova, it was a Polish immigrant, I believe, who actually went over to New York, set up a shop, and essentially, created what we now know today as Bulova. So it's a fantastic story. I don't know if it's quite a rags to riches story. I need to read more about it myself. It's really quite an interesting one. But what is really interesting about Bulova, and don't worry, we will get to the curve in just a second, but what's really interesting about Bulova is in the 60s they had a kind of space race with Omega. Now Omega and Bulova kind of had this they wanted their brand to be the first watch used in space, and they wanted the watch to be used for the Apollo 15 space mission, and in 1971. So they both kind of went to war, and I think this is a fantastic element to the story, because what happened was that Omega had the watch, I think it was the Speedmaster, and Bulova had a watch as well, ready to go up, into space. As luck would have it, the Omega broke, and so the Bulova ended up being used in space, and I think it was there for 4 hours. It sold for quite a large sum of money. If you go on Wikipedia, it's all documented there. Anyway, let's get straight into this, guys. So, if you saw just the other day, the unboxing, the Bulova Curve, should I say, came in this quite good looking box, and the instruction booklet here, basically how to use the chronograph. I'm going to show you that on this video. I know people don't like seeing the boxes, but I've got to quickly show it, just because, at the end of the day, this is a review. People do need to quickly see how this works. So this flap opens at the bottom. The instructions were placed nicely in here. They did wiggle about a little bit, actually. Bit of a strange design, but there you go. So Bulova, you pull open this flap at the top, and you've got the nice tuning fork logo, and underneath you've just got the the barcodes and all that kind of rubbish. So what you've all been waiting for, the Bulova Curve. Let me just focus a little bit there. So this is a chronograph watch. It's got a 30-meter water resistance. So it's one thing we do need to mention about this, guys, is that this does not have a screw down crown. The amount of websites I've seen that inaccurately report this has a screw down crown. I'm not slating the watch, don't take this as a criticism, but it's not a screw down crown. So just be aware of that before you buy it. I kind of thought it was a screw down crown because so many websites did report that. So just be conscious of that. We've got a stainless steel and titanium case. So, you really can sort of feel the titanium. Feels a solid case, and so it should. It's really light because of that. The design is it kind of lends to it, really. You've got this is the world's first curved chronograph. Bulova have always really been firsts in what they do. It's one of their things. They like to try and be the first. I think they like the notoriety, the almost maybe the world record, perhaps. They're a brand that's really focused on innovation, and in 2008 they were actually bought by Citizen. But the innovation hasn't stopped, which is really fantastic. This was once an American-based company, but yeah, again, as I say, it's sold over to the Japanese, over to Citizen. So if we look here, you can actually see the Let's flip this crown round. Let's focus the camera again. You can see the Bulova logo on the signed crown. You've got the two chronograph buttons. I will show you how to use them in just a second. One thing I have to mention, which I've got to say, guys, this is such a fantastic thing, I believe. When you put the watch on, you'll notice these ridges here, and you'll notice them on this side as well. When you put the watch on and you put the watch through its paces, you put this through here. What essentially happens, guys, what I'm trying to say is that when the strap goes through here, the ridges actually keep it secure. I'll show you in just a few minutes when I've got this on my wrist. But seriously, Seiko could learn a huge lesson from this. A huge lesson. This is just such a clever idea. And I think, to be honest, this is why I am enjoying this watch so much. Because every little detail, it really has been thought of. It's such a clever chronograph. It's a clever design. Okay, so with that being said, you can see there is no huge, big sweeping seconds hand as such. The seconds hand is this one here, down at the bottom, just above the 262 kilohertz sign, which only loses 10 seconds in accuracy per year. So, it's phenomenally accurate. It's more, I think it's 8 times more accurate than your average quartz watch. If you consider a normal quartz watch might lose, between 10-15 seconds a month, plus or minus. This is plus or minus 10 seconds a year. So it's just phenomenal. It really is great. One thing that isn't so great is the lume. It's okay. Perhaps if you live in a hot country where the sun's always shining, maybe you're going to notice that some more. But for me personally, the lume isn't great, which is it's a little bit of a shame, but it's not the end of the world. Not overly bothered. The strap is of a decent quality. It really is. It feels nice, and the actual kind of ridges that go across here are actually playfully introduced around the chapter ring here of the face. You can kind of see. I hope you can see anyway. Let me focus one more time. If you can kind of see in between the markers, you can actually see that the kind of design here almost matches up. I don't know if that's intentional. If it is, that's incredible attention to detail. Really, really interesting stuff. If we flip this over, we can see that it's got an exhibition case back. Again, Bulova are really proud to show off the internals of this watch. This says it's a high performance quartz. You've got the Bulova logo right there. Please focus. There you go, the Bulova logo. It's got sapphire glass, which I haven't mentioned. I did mention the titanium stainless steel. Water resistant, as I say, to 30 meters. You've got the 4 screws, as you may have seen on my other video, which actually screw in and keep this rubber band, rubber strap nice and secure. You've actually got the Bulova branding, the name there on the inside of the strap. And as for the chronograph, let's quickly show you how to use that. So essentially, let me focus one more time. I'm recording this late on in the evening, 10 to 10, as you can see with my the accuracy there. So it's a little bit dark, do excuse the shadows. Essentially, so the second hand is ticking around. All you need to do is you press this bottom button here. You'll see it spins round to 0. Then what you do is you've just got the start-stop feature. So start, I just press this top button here to start the chronograph. When you want to stop it, you just hit the button here to stop, and then you can see the time. So you've got hours, minutes, seconds. I believe that goes up to 12 hours or 11 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds. I might have to double check that, but either way, it's more than I'll ever use it for. Put it that way. I would use it for maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, but maybe I'm cooking something. Anyway, once you've done that, you just press the bottom pusher. That will reset you back to the start time. If you've never used a chronograph, I'm not a huge chronograph fan normally. You might be thinking to yourself, am I going to lose the sound? What happens to... They were just ticking a few minutes ago. Well, all you do is you just push this bottom pusher, and as you can see, it just takes you right back to where we were. In terms of, you don't lose anything. When you push that bottom pusher, it will take you to exactly where it should be, and it'll start ticking again as normal. Absolutely fantastic stuff, really is great. That curvature, as other people mention, it just sits on the wrist absolutely perfectly. Let me go ahead and pop this on. And the rubber strap, by the way, as I do put this on, the rubber strap is just nice enough to feel quite supple, but at the same time it's not by any stretch a cheap feel. So you've got the two kind of bands here, I guess, keeping the watch secure. Again, it really is. It's the best rubber strap I've ever owned. Better than the Casios, better than the Seikos. Sorry, but it just is. Bulova logo etched into the buckle there. And that curvature, I'm just going to position my wrist there. It really hugs the wrist, really hugs it big time. What can I say? I genuinely, guys, as well, I don't wear watches, for other people. I just wear them for myself. But the compliments I've got on this one, I've had compliments all day long. People, I don't know why, because I think some of my Seikos look great as well, and I've had compliments on some of those, but this thing, people have just told me it looks like $1 million. So yeah, it's always nice when someone gives you a compliment on a hobby, on your watch, something that you really enjoy and take pride in. It's really, really nice. And to be honest, I kind of feel as if this watch can be worn in any setting. It could be worn at work, it could be worn maybe doing a sport, it could be worn, just casually, maybe you're going on a date with someone. Definitely recommend the watch. Bad points, I'm not sure there is any bad points that I can think of, really. Probably the loom, as I say, the loom, it really isn't the best loom in the world. There is no date or day date. It's not the end of the world, really, for me. I don't always check the date on my watch anyway. But yeah, it's overall, to be 100% honest, it's growing on me big time. I'm kind of starting to understand a little bit more now why Bulova's such a well-respected... This is my first Bulova, and it's such a nice watch, and it's so supremely accurate. Not only is it a quartz, but it's 262 kilohertz right there. It's a really accurate quartz. So yeah, if you're on the fence, seriously, I do think this one is worth the money. It has grown on me, and you can pick this up for between maybe $450 to $500, maybe $550. This watch did come out at $899, I believe, which is about maybe £700 thereabouts. I don't know. I've seen lots of different prices for this. But either way, feel free, if you've got any questions, as always, comment below. Let me know if you've got this watch. Are you considering this watch? Do you have an Accutron? Do you like Bulova? Do you not like Bulova? Whatever it is, guys, I really appreciate the likes, the subscribes, and the comments. So please, let me know what you think. And thanks for watching, and I will definitely see you again. Okay, ciao.